Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results and your also results for WWE main event and spoilers for the rest of the year for NXT partially, as I did multiple nights. Only got the first 2 nights. Happy birthday goes to Josh Matthews, real name of Josh Lomberger, turned 38 on Sunday on the 25th. Beth Phoenix turned 38 on Saturday on the 24th. And on the 26th birthdays, Ivory turned 58. Also, Tough Enough winner, Maven turned 42. And also, former WWE star, Bryan Lee turned 52. Advertised Dark main event listed from the Arena website. From Raw was Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship. And Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin, the constipated one. Of course, Braun's injured, so that match is probably, as a prediction, not going to happen. Big Show recently aligned himself with Cesaro and Sheamus, helping the duo to win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships last month on SmackDown Live. Big Show signed a new WWE contract last year, and the superstar recently talked to TMZ about his retirement plans and possible showdown with basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal at this link. No, I'm still good, as Big Show revealed. I tweaked a hamstring last week, so I'm a little sore. But other than that, I'm having fun. I signed a new deal last year, and I got a couple of years left. I'm having fun. We'll reevaluate in a couple of years. Absolutely. The towering superstar also spoke about the women's evolution in WWE and expressed his happiness at the opportunities the female talents are being given in the company. I think now is the greatest time for women's division to shine and show how amazing they are. And that division is full of incredibly motivated, dedicated talents. And I'm just so proud of the fact that the girls are getting the respect they deserve and the attention that they deserve as well. Finally, the show was asked about working with Shaq and the other former WWE champions. As he said, he could see them working together in some capacity down the road. Shaq and I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if you did see Shaq and I square off at some point to something, somewhere, whether it's a Krispy Kreme donut eat-off, a free throw contest, whether him and I are going to have to draw a line in the sand and figure out what's next. What's what? John Cena recently spoke with Business Insider to promote the wacky new Sky Vodka advertising campaign he started in. And you can see his Sky commercial above, where it also looks like he's in a boy band at this link. And they pledged their promo with Cena, with the interview highlights and full interview at the link, and like I said, boy band, as well as the commercial. Believing any person in the United States is entitled to equality and not being interested in debating that right. You can argue anything. You can use your political rhetoric to pull anything into your gravity if you want. But if people care to politicize diversity, which is written into the very fiber of what the United States of America stands for, if they want to make an argument out of it, then I don't want to be a part of that argument. Why he is drawn to the new Sky campaign and how he defines American patriotism as an embrace of diversity. I was really drawn to the fact that it was titled Proudly American, and I'm proud patriot. And I think a patriot first, above all. I think it's a message that not only good now, but it's good anytime and anywhere. I think no matter what the situation is, if it's hard political times or if it's everybody playing nice together, the message of embracing diversity is important to every single day. No matter where you are on your history timeline. And also, John Cena is sporting new tattoos on his arm. People missing the message by criticizing his role in the Sky campaign. If someone criticizing my race or my sexual orientation or their comment is that I'm now allowed to embrace diversity, That's very close-minded, because if you do that, you essentially aren't diverse. That's something I thoroughly don't agree with. Diversity and inclusivity in America. I'm very extremely happy that not only is the entertainment industry moving that way towards diversity and inclusivity, but America is moving that way. One could speculate that the reason for all political tension is that America is, once again, going through a giant phase of change. And I think we're going to come out great. I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. It's just not without its bumps and bruises. The Rock has released second official trailer for his Titan Games competition series at this link. The series premieres on Thursday, January 3rd on NBC. Former Impact X Division champion Trevor recently spoke with the Sports Illustrated to express interest in signing with WWE or NJPW. I would love to go to WWE or New Japan, as Lee said. I've done a lot in the United States in terms of big independent companies. I've wrestled in Mexico, Canada, England, and in India. But I'd love to go to Japan. Also noted that 25-year-old Lee is set to enter free agency after recently parting ways with Impact. His contract expires on December 31st. It's been reported WWE has interest in signing Lee, and there's speculation on Lee being announced for the new WWE Performance Center class in January. Lee has had much talked about matches on the Indies, including matches in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla with Kevin Owens, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, WWE NXT Champion Tommaso Ciampa, and others. Lee said some of his best matches have not been seen on TV, but he's hungry to change that. The best work that I've ever done in my life has never been on TV, as he said. My TV work has been to help the product, but outside of that is where you see the real Trevor Lee. Lee's father, the late Tracy Cadell, co-founded the Omega Championship Wrestling promotion in 1997 with Matt Hardy. Omega helped launch the careers of the Hardys, Shane Helms, and others. Lee also noted that he has been practicing suicide dives with Jeff Hardy since the age of 4. The promotion helped him fall back in love with pro wrestling and helped him get through a tough time. Lee was very close with his father and is keeping him close in his heart as he prepares for what's next in 2019. He said WWE is the dream. I'm not chasing my father's dreams. I do want to do something for him, Lee said, and it's for me as well. Ultimately, I would like to go to WWE. That's the ultimate dream. It's always something my father really wanted for me. He was actually an extra for the first time the Hardy Boys won the tag team titles in Fayetteville. He was an extra in the segment before that. The one with the APA, my father was very much in love with the business. Lee said he's willing to try anything on the biggest stage of them all, which being biggest stage is WrestleMania. He said he wouldn't mind wrestling in 205 Live scene, but he believes he can still compete with the top guys like Finn Balor and WWE Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. WWE Champion Daniel Bryan apparently has time off from several upcoming WWE live events. WWE does not have Bryan advertised for Saturday's Starrcade event in Cincinnati, as it's already happened, or Sunday's live event in Madison, Wisconsin. It's also worth noting that Bryan is not advertised for the next non-televised SmackDown brand live event, Sunday, December 2nd in Arlington, Texas. Well, the Raw brand is in Shreveport, Louisiana, Bossier City, Louisiana, which is none other than SmackDown territory. So it looks like they even have changed. And the next night in Calgary, Bryan is scheduled to return to action on Tuesday's SmackDown TV event in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Besides the shows mentioned, WWE Champion is not scheduled for several more non-TV SmackDown live events in December. He is being advertised for the following non-TV live events: December 17th in Stockton, December 27th in Long Island, December 28th in Baltimore, December 30th in Tampa. It looks like Bryan will be back to a regular live event schedule in January. Curt Hawkins will be teaming with Ember Moon in WWE's Mixed Match Challenge as your surprised replacement for Braun Strowman. And I think that's a terrible. You go from power to stupidity. Hawkins is replacing Braun Strowman, who has been pulled from the competition due to his elbow injury. Hawkins appeared with Moon on Raw as she defeated Alicia Fox. As Hawkins and Moon will face Fox and Jinder Mahal on Mixed Match Challenge episode on Tuesday night as the Mixed Match Challenge playoffs kick off. And you can see Hawkins and Moon in this link from Raw. WWE Superstar Lana has once again dyed her hair. This time she's lost her trademark blonde locks in exchange for a shade of blue. And here's a picture of that as she posted on her Instagram account. WWE has had plans for Natalya to turn heel on Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, but those plans were nixed. The Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that the friendship angle between Rousey and Natalya had dropped for weeks, but the plans was always for Natalya to turn on Rousey around this point in time. But the heel turn was dropped when WWE legend Jim the Anvil Neidhart, her dad, passed away on August 13th. Feeling was that they couldn't turn Natalya anymore once her dad passed, which is why they went back to Nia Jax for the feud with Rousey. Silas Young looks to be free of his Ring of Honor obligations very soon, as he has been rumored to be interested in WWE as well as vice versa. It's WWE interested in him. Now it looks like there could be even more credit to these rumors, because Young was in attendance at Raw this week. PW Insider reported that Silas was sitting at ringside during the show. At this point, there's no word of whether he was brought backstage, but the fact that he was in Milwaukee for the show at all is incredibly interesting. Silas is from the area, so he might have just decided to go to the show. Then again, there could always be other intentions for his visit. Silas is set to sign a deal with WWE eventually, along with others who will start in January if all goes according to plan. Thanks to at D. Owen on Twitter for the following NXT UK TV spoilers from the tapings on the 24th in Liverpool, Olympia. Zia Brookside defeated Nina Samuels in a dark match. They announced TakeOver Blackpool for January 12th and the TV tapings the next night. They did a segment to announce Toni Storm versus NXT UK Women's Champion Rhea Ripley for TakeOver. Judas Devlin defeated Kenny Williams with Amir Jordan. Eddie Dennis defeated Dan Maloney by disqualification. Dave Mastiff came out to attack Dennis. Tyson T-Bone and Saxon Huxley defeated Jack Stars and Tucker. I guess that's Tucker Knight. Joe Kofi defeated Ligero. The Kofi brothers and Wolfgang are now being called Gallus. Marcel Barthel defeated Mark Andrews, formerly of TNA, of Andrews, after a distraction from Fabian Aichner. Grizzled young vets James Drake and Zach Gibson defeated Wild Boar and Primate Jay Melrose. Josh Morrell versus Dave Mastiff is next, but Eddie Dennis attacked Morrell. So they're one-on-one on interruptions. NXT UK Women's Champion Rhea Ripley retained over Deonna Purrazzo. Ripley attacked after the match, but Toni Storm made the save. Travis Banks defeated Jamie Ahmed in a quick match. Judas Devlin had words on the mic with Banks after the match. Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel defeated Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. Jenny defeated Candy Floss. Wonder if she's any kind of butt floss. Just kidding. Trent Seven and Tyler Bate defeated Mark Kofi and Wolfgang. Mustache Mountain will now go to take over to challenge for the vacant NXT UK Tag Team titles, where WWE UK Champion Pete Dunne and Joe Kofi also made their appearances, But the show ended with British strong style standing tall. Joe versus Doom for the title was also a confirmed for TakeOver. British strong style versus Gallus was announced for the 25th tapings. And here's the 25th taping results. Also from Liverpool at Day Owen. For the 25th, Primate defeated Jack Starr's dark match. Tony Storm defeated Deonna Purrazzo after match. UK Women's Champion Rhea Ripley came out and just walked around the ring with her title. Storm defeated Purrazzo. Ripley came out and can be found at that link, actually. Wild Boar defeated Josh Morrell. Double DQ as both Eddie Dennis and Matt Massive run into the referee. Johnny Saint announced match with Eddie Dennis versus Massive in a no DQ at NXT UK Takeover in Blackpool. Replying to double DQ as both Eddie Dennis and Dave Massive run into the referee. Hashtag NXT UK. More results per Johnny Saint. Dennis versus Massive in a no DQ match at NXT UK Blackpool Takeover NXT UK, and to be found in that link. WWE UK Championship contract signing between Joe Kofi and UK champion Pete Dunne. Kofi powerbomb Dunne through the table. Okay, again, UK Championship contract signing, and he got put through the table. Kofi powerbomb Dunne through the table. Can be found in that link. Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams defeated Josh Ahmed and Dan Maloney. Isla Dawn defeated Zia Brookside. Gallus talks smack about British strong style. Jordan Devlin defeated Damian Ware. Travis Banks challenged Jordan Devlin to a match, but Devlin walked away. Zach Gibson and James Drake defeated Andrews and Webster. Gibson and Drake will go on to face Mustang Mountain at NXT TakeOver, NXT UK TakeOver for the NXT Tag Titles. Travis Banks defeated T-Bone. Gallus, Wolfgang, Mark, and Joe Kobe defeated British strong style of Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, and Pete. They made a mistake and put Pete Dunne in a second. He must have been wrestling in a mirror as a tag team partner. What did he do? Tag himself in? Replying to Day Owen, Gallus defeated British strong style. Dolph Ziggler will be hosting MTV's reunion show for the Challenge 32, which airs Tuesday. He tweeted the following: I'm stepping into a different ring, a ring of fire. I'm your host for the Challenge 32 Final Reckoning reunion, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central on MTV. Bray Wyatt currently backstage from Milwaukee from Raw, according to PW Insider. No word yet on if Wyatt will return to action on Raw show, but he did return to the ring at Saturday's Arcade live event in Cincinnati, defeating acting Raw General Manager Constable Corbin. And your spoilers, main event episode. Titus O'Neil defeated Mojo Rawley. Zack Ryder and the B team defeated Tyler Breeze and the Ascension. On to Raw. Raw opened up with a live from the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And Michael Colesall welcomes us, joining by Corey Graves and Renee Young. We go right to the ring. Acting Raw General Manager Corbin's already waiting in the ring with Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and Leo Rush. Fans are booing Constipated One as he welcomes us to the show. Corey talks about how everyone stuffed their faces with food on Thanksgiving, but he and his crew in the ring didn't, because they treat their bodies like temples. That is why they're in the ring and everyone else is out in the crowd. Corbin talks about being thankful for the job he's done as general manager. Fans booing. Lashley is thankful for the beta males who do nothing while he takes what he wants. McIntyre is thankful for the well-deserved savage beating they gave to Braun Strowman last week. Corbin said that is a moment in time that will live forever. He shows us a replay. We come back to the video package and the boos continuing from the crowd. Corbin then says we won't be seeing Strowman's face on Raw for a very long time, except for this. Corbin sent a camera crew to Birmingham, supposedly. That was taped earlier in the day from Alabama to interview Strowman as he prepares for his surgery. Strowman shows off his bruised elbow. He says he would much rather be in Milwaukee because some people have payback coming to them. Strowman says that the surgeon has never seen an injury like this. He's never worked on an arm this big. But he will be on the shelf for some time. Strowman says he will be back 100%, and when he is, the attack from last week and the surgery will seem like paper cuts compared to what he does to Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre. Strowman goes on and says all three would get these hands when he's back. Fan chat get these hands along with him. Now constipated one goes to speak. Corbin and Lashley mock Strowman for the surgery. Corbin says there's no way Strowman will be able to compete at TLC. But that's too bad because their match is still on, and when Strowman fails to show up, Corbin will win by forfeit, and he will be the permanent GM. Corbin says that the superstars overall need to get on the right side of history because TLC will be his inauguration, and he will remember who stood with him. The lights suddenly go out. Solid black darkness. Corbin yells for them to get turned back on, or someone will be fired. Lights come back on. And Elias is playing his guitar on the stage as the fans pop. Elias introduces himself and says he couldn't stand to hear Corbin's voice any longer. He takes a shot at everyone in the ring. Elias goes on and starts singing a song about Rush and Lashley. Elias sings Bobby Lashley Sucks, and the fans chant along with him. Elias heads to the ring as we go to commercial. And it sounds more like John Cena Sucks song. Instead of John Cena, it's Bobby Lashley Sucks. Leo Rush Sucks. So we get the first match, Elias versus Bobby Lashley. Back from the break, Elias faces off with Lashley. Leo Rush, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre are in his corner. Bell rings, the fan chant Lashley Sucks to start. Lashley backs Elias into the corner, but Elias comes out chopping. Lashley overpowers and takes Elias to the corner with a shoulder thrust. Lashley slams Elias for a 2 count. Lashley keeps Elias grounded. Lashley with another takedown as Corbin claps. Lashley keeps Elias grounded again. The Lashley Sucks chants up for the count again. Elias fights back out and kicks Lashley. Elias tosses Lashley out of the ring. Elias runs the ropes and kicks Lashley back to the floor as he talks with Drew and Corbin as referees counting them out. Lashley comes back in and drops Elias over the top rope. Lashley drops Elias again and stomps on him. Lashley keeps Elias down with boots. Lashley with a clothesline for a 2 count. Lashley with another headlock. Elias fights up and out. Elias with more chops. Elias tumbles out to the floor. Drew gets in his face, but the referee yells at him, and Drew backs off. Elias runs to the apron, but Lashley rushes him, sending him into the ring post. Elias falls back to the floor. Lashley poses in the corner as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Elias nails a mule kick, then a clothesline. Elias unloads with more offense. Elias with a big knee to the face to take Lashley back down. Elias goes to the top and hits the flying elbow. Drop for a close 2 count, Macho Man style. And Rush pulls the referee out of the ring. The referee calls for the match, but Corbin takes the mic and says, no, we're not ending this way. And restart the match under no disqualification rules. Elias counters and backdrops Lashley as they go back in the ring. Elias ends up dropping the others on the outside. Elias brings his guitar in to hit Lashley, but Corbin hits him from behind to make the save. Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre triple team Elias now. They destroy the guitar. Corbin unloads on Elias with a steel chair shot. Drew sends Elias into the corner and then into Lashley, who also sends Elias into the barrier. Corbin also throws Elias into the barrier again. Then the apron. Drew drops Elias with a Claymore kick on the floor. Fans boo louder as they keep Elias down. Drew launches Elias face first into the steel steps. As he lands hard, they get into the face of Elias and mock him as the boos continue. Lashley runs a victory lap around the ring and hits a spear on Elias. Lashley brings Elias back into the ring with a gator roll. Lashley stands over Elias and poses. Lashley drops a knee on Elias and poses on him for the pinfall. After the match, Rush announces Lashley as the winner. As his music hits, we go to replays. Lashley, McIntyre, Corbin, and Rush pose in the ring together as Elias lays on the mat. Still to come segment, Corbin versus Finn Balor, also Raw Tag Team Champions. Authors of Pain defend against Jack Gable and Bobby Roode. Plus an open challenge from Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. Up next, Dean Ambrose has provided a video from his personal physician, supposedly, as we got a commercial. Back from the break, Corbin is yelling at a staffer who supposedly turned off the lights for Elias, as he's been doing it for the last couple of weeks. Corbin fires the guy. Alexa Bliss appears and says that was impressive, calling the fire staffer dead weight. Bliss says Corbin is doing an amazing job, and if there's anything she can do, Corbin shouldn't hesitate to ask. Heck, the guy only weighs about the same as Alexa does. Corbin shouldn't hesitate to ask. He asks anything about anything that she says. She says yes, anything. Corbin gives Bliss props for being team captain at Survivor Series and asks her to oversee the entire women's division because he has so much on his plate. Corbin says Bliss looks good and he looks good. It's that simple. They shake hands and Corbin walks off. Coleslaw leads us to a video package on the Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose feud. We get a video of Ambrose with his personal physician. He's getting various shots so he won't catch the disease and the stench that people carry around, supposedly in the arena, including rabies shot in his rear end. Ambrose says no shower will wash away Rollins' sins because he's a lost cause. Ambrose says he will put Rollins out of his misery at TLC to end this segment. We go to the ring. Out comes Lucha House Party, Calypso, Lizardo, and Grand Natalya. If you don't know their rules in their match, they all three get to wrestle together. Free burst out, tornado tag. They can all be in the ring at the same time. And we get the Revival versus Lucha House Party. Back for the break. Out comes the Revival, Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder. Wilder and Dawson cut promos on the Lucha House Party. Doesn't respect tradition, which is why they asked for this rematch. JoJo announces that this will be a Lucha House Rules match. They aren't happy as Grand Metallic and Dash go at it back and forth. Metallic gets the upper hand, and then comes Lince Dorado for a double team. Calypso gets involved, and then covers Dash for a close 2 count. Dawson catches Calypso with a backbreaker. Dawson drops legs and a headbutt on Calypso for a 2 count. Dash comes back, applies a gory special on Calypso. Calypso gets freed. Dawson goes back in, but Calypso gets the best of him at the same time. Metallic and Dorado get involved once again. Calypso kicks Dawson and hits the Salido del Sol, taking advantage of the Lucha House rule. Metallic follows up with a senton from the top. Lance comes flying off the top with a splash to Dawson for the pin and the win. After the match, Lucha House Party celebrates as the music hits. Well, I didn't see him come out with their pinatas. So it wasn't a pinata party. After the match is over, of course, the Revival isn't happy as they are getting back up to exit. Announces hype Nia Jax versus Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey at TLC. And then we see how Nia got the face breaker nickname by injuring SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Up next, a championship history lesson from Jax. The Era WWE Shop segment with Bayley and Sasha to plug the holiday sales. Back commercial. Back for the break. Announcers show us a new coming soon vignette for Lawler Sullivan. Renee hopes he ends up on the red brand. We go to the ring. Out comes Nia with Tamina. Jax takes the mic and the fans start booing. She talks about how everyone is thankful for her being the sole survivor for Team Raw at Survivor Series. She's most thankful for breaking Becky Lynch's face and putting her on the shelf with a concussion. Jax says the man was no match for the facebreaker. Jax says Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey wanted to face Becky so bad, but she took that from her. Jax says Rousey better get used to her taking things from her because she's taking the title at TLC. Jax goes on about how Rousey came into WWE on top, but her run as has went downhill since their match at Money in the Bank in June. We see a replay from that match, which Jax lost. Jax goes on mocking Rousey as we see highlights from her beat down by Charlotte at Survivor Series. Jax taunts and takes more shots at Rousey before going on about how successful she's been as of late. Jax says the top of the mountain belongs to her. The boos continue. Jax goes on until the music interrupts, and out comes Rousey. Rousey faces off with Jax. Rousey gives Jax some credit for the Battle Royal win at Evolution. She goes on about the punch of Becky Lynch that made Jax the face breaker. Rousey says that's where her luck runs out. Rousey says she's at the top of the mountain and she will rip Jax's arm off, then hit Charlotte Flair with it. Rousey wants a fight. She mentions a double date with Snuka. Rousey wants a fight right now and the fans want to see it. Jax says we're not going to do it like that. She could beat Rousey right now, but she just finished washing Becky's crusted blood from her knuckles as she looks at her knuckles. She goes on with excuses, and Rousey tells her to just fight. Jax says she's not making excuses. She's just stalling for time. She drops the mic and surrounds Rousey with Snuka. The music hits, and out comes Natalya. Natalya gets jumped at ringside by the Riot Squads, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. They triple team her as they come out of nowhere, hiding in the rampway as she makes her appearance. Rousey goes to help Natalya as the Riot Squad retreat to the stage. Jax and Snuka look on from the ring, smiling, and Rousey helps Natalya up. As Rousey's music hits, still to come segment, Balor versus Corbin, and the open challenge from Seth Rollins. We get a look back at how Drake Maverick wet himself, how Bobby Roode and Chad Gable mocked him backstage last week. We'll also see how they picked up a non-title win over the champions last week. We got to Drake and the Authors of Pain backstage. Drake says everyone had a laugh at his expense last week. He talks about how most people haven't been picked up by a giant like he was by Big Show. But if you did, you'd probably wet yourself too. Drake talks about their fear he felt and says he will make sure Roode and Gable feel the same fear tonight. Akama Rezar throwing a warning at the number one contender to end the segment. Raw Tag Team title match, Chad Gable and Bobby Roode versus Authors of Pain. Back to the ring, out comes Raw Tag Team champions, the Authors of Pain, Akama Rezar. 205 Live manager Jake Maverick leads them to the ring. We go backstage to Charlie Caruso with Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Gable says last week, and this opportunity is why he teamed with Roode in the first place. Roode says the time for jokes is over as they are taking the titles and making the entire division absolutely glorious. We go back to the arena. Out comes Roode and Gable to the glorious theme. Akam starts off with Roode, who is distracted a bit by Maverick taking possession of his robe at ringside. Roode and Akam go back and forth. Gable comes in with a missile drop kick. Rezar tags in and clubs Roode. Roode takes Gable to the top, but Gable applies an armbar on the ropes. The referee counts at 5 and it's broken. After all, 5 counts must be a DQ. Roode tags himself in for a double team. Roode blocks a double suplex and hits one of his own. Slamming both opponents, Drake goes up the ramp with Roode's robe on, mocking the glorious pose. We go to commercial as Roode looks on. For a distraction, back from the break, Akam drops Gable with an elbow. Rezar brings Gable back in, but he gets dropped with a DDT. Roode gets a tag and ends up unloading on both opponents. We see Drake with a robe again backstage. More back and forth between the two teams until Roode gets the upper hand again. Drake appears on the big screen again. He's backstage in the bathroom with Roode's robe. Drake takes it. Drake says it would be shame if something happened to the robe. Drake puts the robe in the toilet and relieves himself onto it. Roode and the others watch from the ring. Drake says that was glorious. Rezar hits Roode from behind, sending him into Gable. Gable gets knocked off the apron. Akam tags in for the big double team on Roode for the pin to retain. As he still wasn't distracted by the robe in the toilet. Winners of the match, Authors of Pain. After the match, Akam and Rezar raise the titles in the air as the music hits. Sasha Banks and Bailey are backstage when Alexa Bliss interrupts. Bliss says they have had their differences in the past, but it's thanks to them that Baron Corbin put her in charge of the women's division. Because of their work at Survivor Series, Bliss wants to get to know them. Banks isn't interested. They have a few words, but Bliss says she wants to put their egos aside. She's letting them go to the ring tonight and have an open forum with the fans. Banks and Bailey aren't interested in another live segment from Bliss. Bliss says this will be a chance for the WWE Universe to get to know them. But we get Ember Moon versus Alicia Fox up next. We got a ring, out comes Ember Moon to a pop. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we got a backstage video from Finn Balor. Balor doesn't care if he's putting his career in jeopardy. He's going to stand up to Baron Corbin, fight for what he believes in, and be on the right side of history. We go to the ring, and Moon is in the ring with Curt Hawkins, who is her new Mixed Match Challenge partner. Remember the video from earlier that I was telling you about. Out comes Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers. Alicia was out next as they head to the ring together. Fox immediately drops Moon as the bell hits. Fox for the 2 count. Fox some more offense, including a swinging neck breaker. We see Alexa Bliss backstage watching. Moon ends up coming up back and hitting an eclipse for the win. After the match, Moon and Hawkins celebrate up the ramp as music hits. No Way Jose's music interrupts as they're on the stage. They're coming down. And you get Ember joining the melee with Jose and the conga line as Hawkins also joins them as the party heads to the ring. Jinder waits in the ring for Jose, and he's not happy with the party at ringside. Back to commercial. Jinder Mahal versus No Way Jose. Back for the break. Jinder Mahal goes at it with No Way Jose to start the match. Jinder dominates early part of the match and connects with a few solid kicks. Jinder beats Jose around and keeps him grounded. As the Singh brothers look on, Jinder keeps control, hits a suplex for another 2 count. Jinder keeps Jose grounded with another headlock. Jose tries to fight up, but Jinder nails the takedown to keep control. Jose finally gets an opening from the second rope. Jose with a clothesline and elbow nail. Jose unloads and gets hyped up for the comeback, but Jinder counters and calls for the win. After the match, Jinder celebrates in the ring as we go to replay. As the music hits, Singh brothers join him. We get a look back at the segment between Dean Ambrose and his doctor. Up next, an open challenge from Seth Rollins. Back to commercial. Back from the break, out comes Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins for his open challenge. Rollins welcomes us to his Monday Night Rollins. He admits he hasn't been himself lately, and he says Dean Ambrose has been running around here thinking he was a lunatic last week. Rollins says it's time to get back to what he does and be a fighting champion. He's done chasing Ambrose, but he heard Ambrose say he will be here next week. Rollins also heard Ambrose say he won't be here tonight. Ambrose says Ambrose is a liar and a coward, so he probably is lurking around somewhere. Rollins doesn't care because it's time to burn it down. He says the Intercontinental Open Challenge is now live. Fan chant, burn it down. Now as Rollins waits for his challenger, and out comes Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler mocks Rollins and says he wants to forget all the Ambrose drama. Ziggler says if Rollins wants to go back to being Seth freaking Rollins, he has to do what he does best. Lose to Ziggler. Ziggler says if Rollins gets to be himself, Ziggler gets to be the best in the world. And tonight he's not only the best in the world, he goes back to being Intercontinental Champion. Ziggler enters the ring as his music starts back up. Intercontinental title match, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. Seth and Dolph face off as JoJo does formal ring introduction records. And the bell rings and they lock up. Going back and forth, they go to ropes and break. They go at it again, and then they both hit the mat. Simultaneously, they break and run the ropes. Rollins with a big hip toss. Rollins gets up and sends Ziggler out of the ring to the floor. We go to commercial with Rollins standing tall in the ring while Ziggler is down on the outside. Back from the break. Ziggler turns around. Ziggler goes for Rollins' knee. Ziggler has more offense with a neck breaker for a 2 count. Ziggler keeps Rollins grounded on the mat. Now Rollins fights as fans cheer him on. Rollins looks to make a comeback, but Ziggler drop kicks him for another close 2 count. Ziggler with another quick pin attempt. Ziggler cuts off another comeback attempt and slams Rollins face first into the top turnbuckle. Ziggler then keeps Rollins grounded with another body scissors. Ziggler keeps control, but drops Rollins for another 2 count. Ziggler shows frustration now. Rollins fights up and out of a side headlock. Ziggler blocks another comeback attempt and sends Rollins out of the ring on his head. We go back to commercial. Back with the break. Rollins looks to make another comeback. Rollins nails a sling blade. Rollins runs into a boot in the corner. Rollins then comes off second rope, but has to land on his feet. Rollins ends up dropping Ziggler with an insecurity. Rollins feels the adrenaline as fans cheer for him. Rollins ends up on the apron. He springboards in and hits a flying clothesline for a close 2 count. Rollins keeps control and goes to the top, but Ziggler cuts him off. Ziggler rocks Rollins, climbs up for a superplex. Rollins fights him off and sends him to the mat. Ziggler comes right back, but Rollins sends him back down. Rollins misses the frog splash as Ziggler moves. Ziggler comes right back with a famouser for a close 2 count. Ziggler yells at the referee for a little bit faster count over the close call. Both are still down on the mat. Ziggler smiles and he slowly gets up first. Ziggler goes for a zigzag, but it's blocked. Rollins blocks a DDT. Ziggler blocks a counter with a roll up for a 2 count. Ziggler jumps on Rollins' back next and gets a sleeper hold locked in. Rollins finally powers back and slams Ziggler to the mat. Rollins with a kick to the face for a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Fan chant burn it down as Rollins cranks up the band. Rollins misses the stomp twice as Ziggler avoids it. Ziggler ends up hitting the zigzag for another close pin attempt. Fan chant, this is awesome now. Ziggler gets up first. Ziggler cranks up for the super kick as fans boo. Rollins isn't getting up as he's collapsed in the middle of the ring. Ziggler smacks Rollins around and yells at him, saying he doesn't have to have what it takes to compete with him anymore. Rollins rocks Ziggler for another 2 count out of nowhere. Ziggler comes right back with a super kick to lay Rollins out again. Ziggler goes to the top, but Rollins jumps out of nowhere. Rollins leaps up and hits the superplex and rolls it up into the Falcon Arrow for the pin to retain. After the match, fans give it up for Rollins with a big pop as it hits. We go to replays as Rollins recovers. Rollins catches the title and swings it around over his head. Still to come segment, Balor versus Corbin. We see Alexa Bliss backstage to a staffer about the women's division. The open forum with Sasha Banks and Bayley is coming up. Back to commercial. Back for the ring. It's time for the open forum with Sasha and Bayley. They come out and take their seats in the ring. Alexa was out with a microphone. Charlie Caruso is ringside with a mic for question and answers. Bliss points out a fan at ringside and she's excited to ask a question. She asks what Bayley and Banks would change about the Raw Women's division. Banks says she's proud of the division and wouldn't change a thing. Banks said she would send Bliss back to SmackDown. Bliss tries to stir the pot between Banks and Bayley, saying Bayley has brought Banks down. Bayley disagrees. This leads to Bayley saying they would send Bliss back to hell where she came from. Mickie James, Dana Brooke, and Alicia Fox end up attacking Bayley and Banks from behind. There's chaos, but Bayley and Banks end up clearing the ring and standing tall, looking out at Bliss as we go to commercial, as Bliss escaped the ring. Still to come segment, Constipated Corbin versus Finn Balor. Back to commercial. Finn Balor and Baron Corbin was up next. Back for the break. Out comes Finn Balor for the main event. General Manager-elect Baron Corbin, as he self-appointed himself as General Manager, was out next. The bell rings and Balor immediately attacks, taking Corbin into the corner and unloading. Corbin turns around and works Balor over before taking him down and keeping him grounded in the middle of the ring. Balor tries to fight up and out, but Corbin decks him. Corbin runs the ropes and Balor drop kicks him. Balor takes it back to the corner. Corbin ends up running into turnbuckles. Balor kicks and stomps while Corbin is down as the referee backs him up. Corbin goes to the floor as he is dazed. Balor runs the apron and connects with a big kick to the face. Corbin goes back down on the floor as we go back to commercial. Back to the break. Corbin has turned it around on the floor. Constipated one rams Balor back in the barrier a few times. Corbin drops Balor and returns to the ring, telling the referee to start the count. Balor makes it back in, and Corbin stomps on him. Balor tries to springboard in from the apron, but Corbin knocks him out of the air. Corbin beats on Balor and keeps him grounded in the middle of the ring now. Corbin continues to dominate and levels Balor with a big clothesline for another 2 count. Back and forth. Balor looks to make a comeback. Balor ends up hitting a sling blade. Balor goes for a drop kick at one point, but Corbin catches him with a deep 6 at a close 2 count. Balor goes on and counters, taking Corbin down with a double stomp. Corbin ends up rolling to the floor for a breather. As Balor goes for the coup de grace, Corbin takes the mic and announces that this is now a 2-on-1 handicap match. Corbin introduces his partners. Out comes Drew McIntyre. McIntyre makes his way to the ring, but Balor leaps out and takes him out down the ringside. After dropping Corbin, Balor sends Corbin into the Table Keeper's area, but McIntyre comes from behind and clotheslines him. McIntyre drops Balor onto the barrier. Balor is brought back into the ring for a Claymore kick to get the pinfall. Winners of the match, Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. After the match, Bobby Lashley comes in to the ring with Lio Rush. Lashley hits a dominator on Balor. Lashley then sends Balor into an end of days from Corbin. McIntyre taunts Balor and talks trash to his face before delivering Claymore kick while Lashley and Corbin hold Balor. We got a replays as Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre and Rush stand tall while Balor is down. Lashley and McIntyre hit the corner to pose while Corbin poses on the apron. Raw goes off the air. The dark match main event after Raw saw from the Fifth Serve Forum in Milwaukee, saw Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalya, and Moon defeat Tamina Snuka, Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan. The finish saw Rousey force Liv to tap out to an armbar. That concludes my Raw and WWE main event results for this week. Thanks again. See you one of you. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.